what's up, everybody? I'm back, man. We back. Put it that way, man. Shout out to everybody who's been supporting the show, man. I love you guys, man. Thank you so much, first and foremost. This episode, this episode was pretty dope, man. I got to go to a dope ass studio. Shout out to 801 Studio, 1801, I should say. And I got to go spend some time with a really cool dude by the name of Billy J. And I've known Billy J since he was a young man. And I know him for a while, and he's just he's grown into a real solid human being. Like, you go through your growing pains and you grow and you become like a man. This guy has definitely gotten to that point where he's like full blown, this is who I am, this is what I'm about kind of situation. And I got to go to his studio and got to meet with him, got to talk with him. And we sat down there, and in this interview, you guys going to see, we get to have like a real conversation just about his time in the industry, his time moving in the industry. And the industry I'm speaking of is the music industry. You know, his time from becoming an A&R to now an executive, and how he's maneuvered in a business that is filled with landmines and things that just can go terribly wrong. And he's made it happen. And he's had his ups, he's had his downs, but no matter what, my man has stayed afloat. He's built a family, he's got a home, he's taken care of himself, and he's done really well, man. But this is his journey. And one thing I've come to realize, talking to and working with so many different people, is that your journey is really the key, in your story. And you learn so much, and you have to pay attention, and your journey is like the greatest thing in the world. So in this podcast, you're going to get to know this man's journey. Of course, there's so much to every journey that you can only get but so much in an hour and a half sit down, but you get to know a lot. So hope you guys enjoy the show, and thank you guys for supporting. And as always, you guys take care, be safe, and see you next episode. All right? Peace. Today, I'm in 1801 Studios. It's my man's studio. He's my guest. I've known this man for a long time, man, and I'm just happy that he's willing to come on the show, because this man is a busy man, and he's making moves and is serious about his business. I got my man Billy J in the building today, man. Say what up, yo.
What's good, B?
my man's in the building. And before we even get started, man, let me tell you something about my man Billy J. Like, this man is a guy who, like, a lot of people, they go to school and they get an education in life or in their business, in the business they want to go into. Billy got frontline education. And today we're going to get a whole story, a whole background story about where he came from, how he got here, and just like, how he put together this whole situation. And reality of it is, he's one of the strongest people I've ever met, because he's been through the fire and he's kept pushing. And even though people might have doubted him, he kept going, and he didn't fail. So, Billy, what's really, really, really good? Take it back to the Dipset right there. What's really good?
Everything, man.
Tell the people about yourself, man. Let them know what you do about, man.
Shit, man. I'm just happy to be here.
Yes,
you know
first and foremost.
You're the homie.
Yes.
Happy to support any way I can.
Yes,
know what I mean?
man.
And I'm just blessed.
We in your studio today, so it's big blessing.
Me, my partners, we got a studio, we got our label. Just chilling, man. Just doing what I love.
Ah, yes. Speaking about love, man. Speaking about love. So, what was your first love growing up? Was it music or was it sports?
My first love growing up was definitely sports.
You played quarterback, right?
Yes, I played quarterback.
Yeah, man.
Since I was like 6 years old. Mm-hmm. But my first love was definitely sports. But it was a certain element of the sport.
Right.
Which was, I love the feeling of winning. Like, there's no type of rush like that. Even if I win by 1 point or 100 points, it's like, you set out to do something and you want to be the best at it. Like, you don't want to. Nobody wants to lose. Like, there's no fun in losing. It's not fun. You know what I mean?
So I remember, because you went to high school, same place. We come from the same place and everything. And you played competitive football. You were in football. What was it like, the experience of being in that place where you were starting quarterback
you're already in that zone where you are in a competitive place. How was that for you at that time in your life? Like you were like on stage very early. Is what I'm saying.
It was awesome. It was like it was me. It was like it just.
Did that help formulate your life past high school and everything? For
Yeah, 100%. I think some of the choices I made, like as a kid, and the things that I was influenced by, built confidence in me in an early age, which helped me in a lot of years of my life. You know what I mean? So you know, team sports or just getting kids or your kids in different activities and stuff that help build that social confidence and the interaction, the social interaction. I think a lot of those things are key.
Learning how to be a team builder for sure had to be
or playing on a team.
Yeah, playing on a team.
Being a part of a team. You know what I'm saying? Understanding that concept early. So I think a lot of those things help mold me to the person I am today. You know what I mean?
You spent a significant amount of time, like, I remember being young, you spent a significant amount of time playing sports, period. And that helped formulate a lot of your relationships early. But you went to school. Where did you go to school? You went to college. I know that. You went left.
I went to Tuskegee.
Tuskegee, Alabama.
Tuskegee Airmen.
Jesus.
Like, shout out to Tuskegee. I did a year down there.
Wait. Let's be honest here. Like, okay, so you went down there, right? You left Teaneck.
Facts.
You went down there. How was that transition for you?
Oh my God! So basically, because in high school, it was like I was always cutting corners, trying to be slick, being the guy. You know what I mean?
So backstory: Billy went to school with my brother, and my brother was bad. Okay, Billy
wasn't bad.
Billy says he wasn't bad. No, he was a good kid.
I was what you call if there was like, you know how like in like what was that the mocking game? What was that movie? Hunger
Games?
Like, you remember how there was the rebellion? Like, I would always lead the rebellion. Like, if everybody was like, "Yo, I think we should do this." All right, yo, if y'all down, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? And I support the cause. I'm for the people.
Where was that rebellious spirit? Where do you think that came from? That rebellious spirit early?
Probably my mother. my mom is very rebellious, so I think I got that from her.
You got that from your mom?
Definitely got that from my mom. You know what I mean?
Did you used to fight with your mother like yo? I know what I'm saying.
I fought. I have an older brother, which is your age.
Yeah, Manny. Shout out to Manny, baby.
Shout out to Manny, and we all know, if you know Manny, then you know.
Let's not even talk
you know
about
what I'm saying?
Right
like that was like every day. It's like, it was war.
Hurricane
like
Manny, baby.
And we were young. Like, if I had kids like us, if my kids were like me and my brother growing up, I don't know what I would do, because we literally destroyed our rooms. But because we would like play tackle football in the house. We'd be having Royal Rumbles off the bed.
This is when WWE was WWF.
Yeah,
this is real.
This was like it was cracking. Like, people getting suplexed through closet doors. Like, it was,
the Ultimate Warrior song come on, everybody start wilding.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't even think kids fight the way we like the physical. Like, that was a game. That was like tag. Like, you know what I mean?
But keep it real. You guys had a dad who was serious about his discipline and was in there, man.
Oh yeah,
your dad was real.
He was Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah, man, he was a real deal, man.
For anybody who knows, there's a brown skin bald head with a goatee. You know what I'm saying? And 2 gold chains. You know what I'm saying?
He was Mr. T for real. Snatch you up.
Snatch you up so fast,
group hug.
Man.
Group hug.
Oh my God. You know what I mean?
Oh man. I think that helped you guys a lot, though, on a certain scale. I think it helped you guys see what a father was about, and it kind of kept you guys kind of level-headed to a certain degree.
Definitely, 100%.
Now you went down and you transferred. You came out of like a very, very affluent area where we were like highly mixed to an area where I guess it was pretty like segregated. Not segregated in terms of like old segregation, but it wasn't like people were mixed like that down there.
No, it was all black.
It was all black then.
It was all black.
Yeah, okay. So how was that transition?
It was like a full blackness. It was just couldn't get no blacker. You know what I mean? Like, there was stuff like the Players Ball and all types of stuff down there that I never experienced. It was an amazing experience. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Right.
But I think that for what I wanted to do with my life and stuff like that, I had to make a decision. You know what I'm saying? Because the opportunities that I was looking for necessarily weren't there.
What did you learn while you were down there?
Oh man, what did I learn? Shit.
Because there's always life lessons when you transfer from an entire
yeah.
location. Because look where we live. We live in the melting pot of America, and now you're down there, and you're like, oh, it's just black.
Sometimes, you know, you can't run your mouth, like
Right.
all that.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Sometimes people will shut you up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you will learn that quick in college. I know that. I learned that too.
Yeah, I got jumped in college. It's
Hmm.
crazy. I got jumped in a good way though, because it was like, you know, I was doing my thing, and one of the dudes was hating. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and everybody knew that he was hating, so then they jumped me, but it wasn't like I wasn't hurt, and I was still.
You didn't
know,
You didn't get on the ground. And
I
get stomped out.
stomped out.
Yeah.
And then what ended up happening is some of the homies later on that night heard about it. So I'm chilling in the dorm room with my other mans. You know what I'm saying? They outside fighting. They getting jumped now. The dudes who jumped me is getting jumped from the homies by Detroit. So we run out the dorm room and then we go melee on them. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of wild. It was down there was crazy because like
But you're up from north, so the women had to be crazy. The experience of being around
the
all these
women
different-
down there, I'm telling you, that was like right around when Drumline was popping. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
definitely was like, oh, okay, I could do this. Okay, people stomping around the yard. I don't know what I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Like they wanted me to be a alpha and a Q and all. And then I was like, okay, I'm thinking about it. You know, I seen the movies. This shit could be cool. It's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Then they told me I got to pay like $1,800. I said, I don't got it. Like is there a payment plan for this? Like, I'm broke, bro. Like these niggas drop me off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard. I could be like, we cool. Like, I fuck with y'all.
I'm in this broke place of being a student. It's an amazing world where I live at.
And I was like, $1,800 for some friends. I get it. They lifelong, but you know, it's like.
But it's not your thing. It never wasn't even your thing. Like
Yeah,
that.
it wasn't my thing, but I respect it. I love the sororities and the fraternity culture.
I've come to love them, man. They're great people.
Yeah, I love the experience. It just was that for what I was trying to do, I just didn't need to be down there. I played a little ball. What I did learn about is heat. Fam, there's a whole. It was so hot down there. It is heat that like freezes time. It's so hot you don't want to move because it's like you would just melt. Like I would look out my window and I would see the lines of heat. Like you wouldn't see nothing but heat. Like it was
Wild,
oven.
bro. That's wild. And I'm guessing the bugs was big as fuck down there too, man.
Yeah, it's just everything. And then you know what I really learned about too?
Yeah.
Was guns.
Because guns are rare. Because people like their guns in the South, man.
No, I don't think down there the law is like you can have your gun in the front seat and it's just going to be loaded, so your bullets could be in the back seat, but or vice versa.
That's wild.
So me coming down there, up here we got flashlight cops.
Yeah.
The flashlight cops on campus got the Clint Eastwood Desert Eagles and all types of stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. And I see kids on a football team, they showing their guns off at practice. Like, I don't even got a knife. I'm down here naked. You know what I'm saying? So I'll never forget. It was a crazy story. My first roommate, my freshman year, I promise you, quietest dude ever. I've got ill stories. Like, however, God has
Put you in this place.
Put this on my road and the people I meet along the way. So my first college freshman roommate, wow, cool. He was a veterinary major.
Oh, wow.
Like solid, like just a good dude. Down south dude, super down south. So, we're chilling, talking one day. And he had asked me, like, you ever shot a gun before? I was like, well, one time off a roof. Like, just once. Like, me and my cousin, like, I shot it one time. You know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, and I was like, wow, you shoot? He was like, yeah, man, I love guns. I've been, shooting guns, since I was like 7 years old. And I'm like, oh shit. Now, mind you, he wears glasses. Like he's here trying to,
He's kind of a square at the end of the day.
Nah, it was. I didn't expect it. You know what I'm saying? So, he's saving animals. He's into animals, shit like that.
Right.
So he's telling me a story. So he was like, yo, I got something for you. Yo, fam. This dude lifts his mattress. Like in college, you had like the mattress, then you had the baseboard, then you had the drawers under it, like the dorm bed type joint.
Yeah.
So there was a space in between the mattress and where the drawers started, like before the baseboard.
Right.
He lifted his mattress He had about 9 guns under there. I said, I'm looking at him like, what are you Billy Rosewood from Beverly Hills Cop family? What is this, yo?
You're in college.
Yo,
That's so crazy.
Yo,
that would not
yo.
fly this time. In this era that we're living in right now, that would not fly.
Yes, it would in Alabama, in Tuskegee, Alabama. Absolutely, it's going on right now. What are
Oh
you talking
my
about?
God, it's nuts,
I don't
bro.
think you get it. Everybody's walking around with guns down there. Like you go to the club, the cops with the AKs is outside. Everybody's got guns.
That's nuts, yo.
Yo, so he's got like 9s, Glocks, 22, 38. He's got a rifle. I'm looking at you like, who are you? Like, nigga, are you? Like, are you Luke Cage? Nigga, are you fighting crime at nighttime and I don't know this?
I think I need to do roommate. This ain't good. This ain't good.
Yo, I'm like, so you're, you're saving animals by day and cleaning the streets up at night. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. So I'll never forget it, yo. He was like, yeah, man. He gave me a 22. He gave me a semi-automatic 22, which is a really, really small gun. Just,
Yeah. That's
like,
the shoe boot joint. They throw that in the boot.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, I had the North Face pouch, like, the joint you wear around your waist.
Yeah.
Yo, my 22, you could not tell me I wasn't the hardest thing on campus. I felt like Tupac and Juice, like yo.
He got his chest pumped up. What you say, yo? Take it easy, B.
Yo,
Be cool.
you know what I'm saying?
I got no. Hey, you don't want that.
You know what I'm saying? It was hilarious, man. Oh man, I thought I was so cool with my 22, man.
Did you ever so you're down in Alabama, right? You're going to school. You're strapped. You're living your life.
I'm strapped.
Strapped, living your life.
Strapped up. Yo, I don't think you get it.
How did you start getting the idea that maybe I should go into go out and go find another business, like find the industry and stuff like that, the entertainment industry?
Oh nah. Once I decided, it was like, all right, I'm not going to the NFL.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
What's the next best thing that I love doing and that that fits my personality and who I am? I was like, yo, I got to be in the entertainment industry. And I had friends who was rappers. I was always influenced by music and, partying and having a good time. And I truly embody that, always wanting to have a good time and stuff like that. So that's what it was. And I was like, all right, it ain't down here, though.
No, it's not going to be down there,
It's
bro.
not going to be down here.
No. Did you take journeys to, because this is circa 03, 04, so this had to be right around the time Atlanta's kind of popping at this point.
Yeah, Atlanta's been popping ever since I've been down there. But I was like, I was going. You guys, people that we went to school with, that was going to like Clark and stuff. I went to Tuskegee. I'm shooting up every weekend. I was in the A.
That's what I say. That was the nearest closest thing that was popping.
Yeah, I was all over the South.
Because Houston is not that close. Going up to
Nah, but
Houston.
I was in Mobile, Birmingham. I was in the A. I was at all colleges, Tennessee State. I went to New Orleans. I just traveled the South when I was at school. It was like, yo, let me see what the South got to offer. What's going on?
Eating good out there too, probably.
Eating good, and the women were extremely nice to me down there. You know what I mean? It was cool. It was a vibe. But it was a vibe that I only needed a year of it. I didn't need like 4 years of it. That wasn't the vibe. The vibe was I get in, see it, understand it, learn some things, and I had to make a choice. And I made a choice. I dropped out.
Dropped out. Made a choice. Now, you're an A&R, and you are artist management, right?
Yeah. I kind of, I'm like, I consider myself just an executive period because the executive has evolved since being able just to, I'm just an A&R, or I just do marketing, or I just do this. Because now you have to understand so many different elements and how different departments and different variables overlap. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you're not well rounded, you won't make it today. So
you gotta stay sharp with that one.
yeah,
That's
it's like,
very,
and
very
again,
true.
it's just like going back to, I'm programmed that way just from like being a quarterback. It's like,
Yeah.
when you're a quarterback and you guys are running the play, I got to know the lineman's blocking assignment. I got to know what my receivers are supposed to be doing. I got to know what the running backs are doing. I got to know my footwork to open up and hand the ball off. So when I'm doing business, I want to know all avenues of the business to see which thing didn't go right. And that's the thing that, okay, if this play didn't go right, but okay, this person didn't block, so we only got 6 yards, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, I might have to put some help in the promotions,
Right.
you know, or radio or
Right.
this, that, and the third, and just keep working the puzzle until you score.
Right. So it's basically you're basically like snap the ball. You're going through your progressions.
Yeah.
And you're looking at things like, okay, am I checking down or am I going long? You know, like that game last night that was crazy. God, that game was nuts. But
Game was
woo,
retarded.
it was retarded. But so here's the deal. You decide to leave school and go into the entertainment industry, but you couldn't just jump in there. There's always gatekeepers. How did you start out? How did you get your start?
I started out by a guy named Charles Farrar. He got me my first internship over at MBK with Jeff Robinson.
Okay.
Back when, you know, he had Alicia and they were killing it. I got fired because I was being me and just being a lot. Then I was at Sony Urban working under Gary Beach and Anton Marchand. I got fired again. You know what I mean? But that one, the second one wasn't my fault.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was I was on suspension is what they called it because, you know, I just was very I was passionate and I was trying to be the best intern and star intern. I used to come in there at 9:30 in the morning like an employee and then leave at like 9 at night and go straight to the club to throw a party. But I would make sure like every day when I interned, I walked around the whole floor and said hello to every single person. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just
You were learning to build relationships. You were building
and I
relationships.
stood out. I wasn't,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It just was what it was.
Well,
know?
you brother, you ain't. Let me tell you something, brother. It ain't like you're like this 5'2" dude who could just walk around. Yeah, you're like, you know, you walk into a room, people gonna see you. They're gonna notice you. You know what I mean?
So it was like, you know, I made some great relationships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, from there is when things really changed. Is when John Monopoly. I started working for Hustle Good Music with Datu Faison, John Monopoly, Don C, Happy. It was like a whole crew. It was like who really was doing the Kanye Good Music,
Right.
You know, during that time, and then they managed Shauna and Carl Thomas and other artists too, and they were killing it. And I got to really come up and experience and learn so many things. And Miata, you know, David, which is Miata Johnson now, Manop's wife, and her and her sister company, MVD. I learned so much from all those people from different areas. I learned, you know, hands-on management. I learned hands-on A&R, hands-on producer management,
Right.
You know, hands-on event planning and what a good publicist should be doing and stuff like that. So at that point, it was like for real, I was like in a dead-ass college.
Yeah,
know
you
what
were
I mean?
getting the industry 101 for real.
For real, you know, and I was in there every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like I took it as a job.
Right.
You know, and I worked my way from intern, then they started paying me, you know what I mean?
How did the discipline from playing sports for so long in your life help you at that time? Did you find yourself like really learning how to like really like that discipline was still in you to be like, yo, I gotta discipline myself to really get this shit done?
Facts. Like if you're gonna like you can't be good if you don't practice. So
Okay.
it's like if I don't go into the office and get this experience, I'm not gonna be able to play. I'm not gonna be able to win a game. How am I gonna compete with all these people in the game if I don't learn that?
True. Very, 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 very true.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of
Very
people
true.
will just be out here winging it, and it's like it's cool. You could get lucky, but then you always fall on your face
Every time.
every single time.
Every time. You don't got the discipline to say, look, I'm not doing this because I'm going to do this, and I got this done, and I got to get this done. Screw everything else around you. You can't cut the noise out. There's so much noise around you all the time.
But it's also more about learning your craft, like learning what you want to do.
Right.
Like a lot of people just be like, oh, yo, I want to be such and such, and they're like, all right, so go do it. And then they're like, well, yo, I can't because I don't know this. Well, why? Like first of all, you got a computer in your pocket. If you got an iPhone or Android, then you got a computer in your pocket. That's number one.
Right.
So you can research anything.
Yeah.
Number two,
It be bugging me out when I see people without the Google app on their phone. Like, you don't have a Google app on your phone to learn shit? Like, come on, bro.
well, yeah, just stop making excuses and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And then I tell people all the time, like when I speak on panels or I talk to, you know, new artists or development, I ask them all the time. It's like, yo, there's a difference between wanting to be an artist and needing to be an artist. You get what I'm saying? Like when you want something, you can go without it.
Yeah.
When you need water and you're about to be dehydrated, you can't because you will die. Certain people have that much creative and artistic juices flowing through them that they need to be an artist because they can't focus or do anything else. You know what I mean? I know if I wasn't an
know this
entrepreneur and an executive and doing what I'm doing now, I'd probably be depressed. I'd be angry. I feel like I'm running in a wheel. You know what I mean?
Did you
So-
run into a lot of people who were like that? Like they were just like because
Yeah.
like they just couldn't get there. They couldn't get there, but they needed it. They know they needed it. That's what they wanted to
Well, you rarely meet the ones that need it and don't get there, because the ones that need it, again, needing something, you figure it out.
do.
That's what my Manop told me one time. He had asked me to do. I'll never forget this. He had asked me to do a show contract or something. Him and Datu, and they were walking out to a meeting. I had never done a contract before. He said, man, FIO.
Wow.
Figure it out. Like, and then close the door. It's like, all right, well, I hit the net, found some sample contracts, looked through here, something, found this, pieced it all together, sent it over. They said, all right, this is good. And
Billy,
then,
speak to that truth, man, of figuring it out yourself, B. You gotta learn how to figure shit out on your own. You can't expect somebody to feed you, bro.
Yo, FIOGID, figure it out and get it done, man. I don't figure it out. Like it's you know what I mean? Like
Listen, I wrote my own photography contracts. I learned how to do it myself because I had learned how to do the podcast myself. I learned how to do photography myself. Like you can't expect people to teach you some things. You just got to be able to, like we were talking earlier off mic. We were talking about like you got to be able to tread water. Like you got to be able to tread. You got to do it on your own. You can't expect people to do it for you. Is it that ability to find that necessity to get things done? That definitely helped you out as you went along in your career. Am I correct?
100%.
Did you, while you were learning these things and you going through things with the crew that you were with, how was it for you in the industry as far as like you're traveling a lot? How was that for you? The traveling and going to different places. What kind of things were you opening yourself up to? You probably found a whole nother world.
It was like, yo, and you know me, I have a big personality. I'm always ready to have a good time, and I can have a good time. And like when you taking a 19-year-old around and showing him the ropes and then giving him access to some of these things that he ain't got no business getting access to, you going learn. You're going to see. You're going to learn. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I could only imagine.
And the thing is, it's like, a lot of them would think, I was afraid of it, I wasn't ready for it, I couldn't hang. They ain't know. I was like, bane, I was born in the dark. You just was adopted to the dark. You know what I'm saying?
A Bane for real, buddy.
Bane for real. I'm ready to turn up. Like, you don't even know. Like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, word? You telling me I can turn up and I'm not going to get fired? All right, let's go. Like, let's go. I'll show you how to turn up.
I'm letting Billy J out for real today.
You know
Y'all know Billy Jones been doing Billy J today.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, give me, let me hold your chains. Let me get what it is. I'll show you how to turn up. You know what I'm saying? And I think, some people is like, yo, he's crazy. Some people appreciate it and support it. And it's like to be that free and not that tainted at the moment, because the game will taint you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm completely different than I was when I first came in. And, it'll change you.
Well, like, you're learning so much, you're gonna change. There's no getting around.
But some people can't bounce back from the change. Some people, this game will tear you up. You know what I mean? This game, I've seen, people come and go, and this, that, and the third, and so it ain't easy at all.
In the business, you meet a lot of people who are great people, but you meet a lot of scumbags. Did you run into a lot of scumbags as you progressed?
Definitely run into scumbags.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, not everybody has principles or morals or understands rules and just the basics. Me playing sports and then having, a lot of big homies and my dad around and just understanding, like, all right, you do this, this happens. You do this, this happens. Like, there's rules. This ain't just open court for you to just do everything you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's certain stuff you just can't. You can't change.
No, you can't.
If you try to change them or do some flim flam,
they get you up out of here.
They get you up out of here fast, or you get yourself hurt. You know what I mean? So, I just think that there's a lot of people out there that don't got morals and stuff like that, and it's also a combination of being in this game, and it's just life in general. You also don't know what people are going through.
No, you don't know what people are going through. You don't know.
And it's always so many moving parts, you know what I'm saying, to everything, that the person I am now is just like, you really, really got to get to me to get to that point. Before I was a lot, you know, I had a shorter fuse. Like I just my list of what was right and what's wrong and morally right and what's wrong, it was so short, and it was you know, it wasn't thought out. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it probably served you well, and sometimes it probably was an inhibitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure, because sometimes I know back in the day, where we grew up, everybody you had to defend yourself. It wasn't like people were going to defend you. You got to stand up for yourself. And having a short fuse sometimes kind of kept people off your back. People wouldn't be like, oh, chill out. He might snap on you. He might pop. You know what I mean? Whereas though in some places, you know, if you were real calm and stuff like that, people felt like they can antagonize you or come at you in certain ways. I think that sometimes you need to be able to show people that you're not afraid of them and push yourself. And especially in the industry, people will try to take advantage of you if you come off too timid, so to speak.
Yeah. It's like I tell everybody, man, in life you just got to find balance.
Yeah.
It's all about balance.
Yeah, and that's hard. That's hard.
Oh
Like
my
hard.
God.
It's really hard to find balance between 18 and 25. Forget about it. Like you're a nutcase.
It's just hard to find balance. Period. Balance is tough.
Yes. Did you know who some of the famous people I've always seen who pop off? Did you see people like Dame Dash? Did you see people similar to how he used to just blow up on people? Did you see people like that as you were going through the industry? Did you see similar people?
I've seen a lot of executives curse a lot of other executives out all the time. And what I've come to realize, it's about passion.
Yeah.
It's about money, and a lot of the people who either own their own label, like there's two views. There's the person who works at the label, who has the job, that gets paid the check and is on the side of the label.
Yeah.
Then you have the person who owns their company that technically you're working with to push their products and their artists, and their company is how they live and how they eat. You get paid by this corporate company that has all this money. So there's always going to be a difference in passion and approach. You know what I mean? Because one's your thing. It's like one's yours.
Right.
And one's like, I work for them on your stuff. So it's like, you can really don't yell at me. Like, go yell at that man. I didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Like,
so,
I'm a third man on this party, on this trip right now.
yo, fam, I don't cut the check. Like, not me. Like, you know what I mean? So, I think, you see that all the time. You see, it's crazy. It's awesome. The energy is awesome to believe in something, see something come from, you know, what you thought or envisioned, and then it becoming this big thing. Or like, I remember the first couple of times, like, I heard my artist record on the radio, or like hearing it in the club, and like people really dancing and having a good time to your shit. You know what I mean? That you worked on. Not saying
that must have been a hell of an experience, I should say.
Yeah, and even for me, just being like at that time like a manager, you know, an assistant A&R and stuff like that, just to even know you are a part of it, it's a rush. It feels amazing. You know what I mean?
When you got your first big break, I should say, or just one of your first big moments, where were you and who was it with?
I think my initial, big moment would definitely have to be Young Berg. We were in LA. I was managing him at the time, and when we had really started going hard with his first single, "Sexy Lady," and then I just started noticing, like, okay.
How was LA for you though? It's always experience when people have the first time they're out there.
I packed the bag. I packed the bag for 2 weeks and then come back for 2 years, man. It was like, went out there and I'm just like, yo, this is not real. You know what I'm saying? It seems like nobody has a job. Everybody's ready to chill, roll up. Everybody's just like, yo, pull up, you know, grab some swishes. You know,
people
like,
get lost in LA, man.
Oh my God. So
people get lost in Cali.
And it's just like, it just seems like everybody has money. You just at the light and you got the Ferrari pulled up next to you and then the Phantom on the other side. It's like, nigga, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? It's like it was all, and then you just see all these celebrities and they're normal people, and then they look crazy in the store. I'd be like, yo, she looks crazy, fam. Like I wouldn't, if that's what she looks like when she wakes up, I want no parts. Like, you know what I'm saying? It looks great on the big screen, but yo, it's crazy. Then some you see with no makeup on, and they be regular people. Like, you know, I'll never forget. Like, this was like the most random thing ever. I had a freaking conversation one day. This was like 2006, 7. It was a random ass conversation. I was in the grocery store by the crib that we had in it was in Encino Hills in the backside of Valley. It was at like the supermarket, but you know, like out there, there's supermarkets, they sell alcohol and stuff. Like even the CVS and all that stuff sells alcohol and stuff.
Shit,
out
I
there
didn't know
too.
that.
So I was in there, and then I had seen Pink,
Oh,
but I didn't really know it was Pink. You know what I'm saying? But we in the alcohol, I'm looking at shit, and like the hard alcohol be locked up and this and that third. So I guess she was waiting for the dude to come open
the liquor cabinet.
the liquor cabinet thing.
Yeah.
So was I, you know, and at this time it was like really like when we just started really going hard with the Patron. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like this was like when like,
Patron was
that
the
thing.
shit.
So me and her had like a quick like 45-second conversation. She was like, "Oh, you get the Patron?" I was like, "Yeah, you know, yeah." But not until midway through the conversation, I'm like, "Fam, I know this girl." I'm like, "Yo, she look bad familiar." You know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm not expecting it to be Pink. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she just
You're not expecting it to be Pink
She
at
got
all.
she got her hood on. She's chilling, and I'm just like, okay, like it didn't really click. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see wild people, it just, you know.
Did you ever have a starstruck moment out there? Like, oh snap, this person did what? Like,
starstruck moment?
because I mean, some people get starstruck when they see Michael Jordan. Like Michael Jordan walked in here right now, I'd be like, everything.
I
I'd be
had-
silent. Like, oh my,
My starstruck moment, one of the starstruck moments was when it don't be starstruck, it be I froze because I didn't necessarily, you know, you don't really know what to say.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I
yeah.
guess, yeah, it is starstruck. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely, it was a funny ass story. It was definitely, it was one time, this was in New York.
Oh wow, it wasn't even in L.A.
It wasn't even L.A. This is, I'll never forget, this is that marquee. This was, and mind you, because I told you my other Rihanna story.
Yes.
This was the first Rihanna story.
Okay.
This is the first Rihanna story. So we in Marquee go see my homies. This was years ago, maybe 10 plus years ago. So I go up to the table. There's a bunch of people around from the labels, Def Jam, and stuff like that. I'm saying what's up to everybody. You know what I mean? And I kind of looked over, and it's like, I seen a joint. I'm like, oh, that girl bad over there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm like, kind of look like Rihanna. You know what I'm saying?
The wolf is about to come out.
I'm like, yo, she kind of look like Rihanna.
Yeah.
I'm talking about mans and who work at Def Jam, and at that time, one of them was managing Fab. Shout out to my boy Chael. He was managing Fab. So he goes, I'm talking to him. I'm like, yo, that joint behind you, yo. She bad.
I'm about to do this right now.
I was like, yo,
I'm about to do this.
it looked like, I was like, yo, it looked like Rihanna. He was like, like, yeah, that's Rihanna. I was like, what I am? He just turned around, just threw me right there. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, what's up? Like it was too fast. It was too fast. Like it was like
The blitz that came, bro.
yeah,
You did-
I was like, oh, like I wasn't even ready. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't ready. It was that was funny. And then the second time, well, it was the time with Ray J when we was out there, and this was like right as like I'm like getting a little bit of love and feeling myself because I did a cameo on Family Business on Ray's show because I was A&R in his album when I was running A&R SRC for Rifkin, for Steve Rifkin, and then we had went to this party out there, and then again, you know, going to VIP saying what up. I'm not really paying attention.
Right.
So Ray says what's up to Rihanna. They were talking real quick, and then he was like, he tasked me. He's like, really, you know Rihanna? I'm like, nigga, you know damn well I know damn Rihanna, nigga. Wait, go on, fam.
Random ass question, yo.
Random ass question, like, man, you know Rihanna? No, nigga, I don't know damn Rihanna. Look at that thing. Yeah, so he goes, yo, Rihanna, there's Billy J. You know, he works at the late. And she was like, oh, I know you are. And I'm like, froze again, just like, yo. Like,
Oh, man.
I'm like, oh man, it's like
This is bad.
It's awkward, man. It's like, damn, like twice, like 2 times. I ain't got shit to say. I ain't got nothing good to say. Usually, I got everything to say. I ain't got nothing good to say, man, because he called me up. God, yeah, Billy, you know Rihanna? No, nigga, I don't know. Like,
I know you give him shit about that all the time. Like,
oh,
no, bro, I wasn't feeling that. Why'd you do that to me, B?
He laughed about it the whole night, and I just asked him, I'm like, fam, why would you ask me if I know you? Nigga, I know you. I don't know that many famous people. I got you, your sister. I know Berg. I mean, like, come on, fam. Like, you're killing me right now.
So wait, so how did you become cool with Ray J? How did you meet dude?
I had met Ray when I was managing Berg. He did a cameo on the Sexy Lady video, our first video, and we were cool. We had like a mutual friend out in LA, and they introduced us, and then we kind of just became wild cool.
Yeah, just clicked.
Just clicked and became wild
bat.
cool.
Yeah.
And he always showed love. I always showed love to him, and then we just maintained a friendship, and we did a lot of deals and hit records.
You did the Scooty bike deal.
We started Scooty Bike together. We did Sexy Can I? You know what I'm saying? It was a bunch of stuff. So it was like it's just a natural friendship and business relationship that just
kind of clicked up from there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's dope though, because a lot of people don't have industry friends. At least not in the sense that they have friends that they stick with. They could be in the moment, but you stuck with that dude, and that's really dope, yo. So when you're going through the motions of being in the industry, and you said you work for Rifkinder, right?
Yes, I did. I was vice president A&R for SRC.
SRC.
For Steve Rifkin, yep.
Steve Rifkin's a pretty like solid dude. Like I seen him around for a long time.
He started Loud Records. You know, Mobb Deep.
Did you pick up anything from him?
Yeah, Riff is my guy. Riff is great. He knows how to make deals happen and get things done. You know, that's one thing I tell him. And he does recognize talent early. And one thing I can say about Riff, he gives mad people a shot. Like he'll give you a shot. Riff will give you a shot. If you miss,
that's on you.
Or you fuck up, that's on you. He'll give you a shot though. He's not one of those people that necessarily has slammed the door in your face. Like he's given mad people shots. You know what I mean?
I saw him on Drunk Champs once, and I was like, wow. This dude really got some real creds. He's legit. I was like, oh shit. I didn't know he was that legit, but he was legit. Like, shit.
Over legit. Like you just all that early hip hop, like Wu-Tang. That's all SRC. Shout out to Gabi, shout out to Rich Isaacson, shout out to his brother John and everybody that I worked with, Jay, everybody I worked with at SRC, and just it was, I had mad awesome experiences. Like,
can you speak to how the business was then and how it is today? Like that, how is that?
When I first came in turn and stuff, the business was good. People were making money. Then it slowed up.
Around the time the crash happened, around 2008?
Yeah, around there, like when people like really stopped fucking with CDs and shit like that, and it became harder and harder for people to go buy a CD, and people were spending so much money making these albums and not really understanding the transition to digital platforms and online and what iTunes was doing at the moment. And
did you get on early? Did you start understanding that early?
Well, I understood a digital space because back early I had consulted for a tech company that basically they were an agency that represented widgets and 2.0 companies that during the MySpace time, when you had a MySpace page, you wanted to trick your joint out, like skin it or have like the little widgets like Meebo, Soda Bucket, what was it, Photo Bucket, Soda Head, and Kite, and all those type of things. We were the agency that was going to the labels, getting the artists and people to the digital departments to utilize these technologies.
That's a lot of value. A lot of information right there.
Yeah, so I was on it early, like before even the Facebook craze. Like I brought a technology to my friend Chris Broadway Romero, who's running digital at G Unit, and we brought him Ning, and they created thisis50.com. I brought him the technology that created that site. You know what I mean? And like I can't take credit for creating This Is 50.
Right.
What I can take credit for is I was the person who brought them the technology that the platform sits on. You know what I mean? And that's how he was one of the first artists who created a blog that was also a social network, because you can create a profile in This Is 50. So that was where he was going initially.
I remember when
first.
This Is 50 came online. It was a big thing because
Oh,
at
it's
that point in
huge.
time, because it was legit. My mornings when I would get up, it would be I would check This Is 50, I would check Facebook, and I would check what was it? I was also checking World Star at that time, and it was like all kind of like mixed in. I was like, yo, this hip hop is really transitioning because I wasn't buying CDs anymore. I was getting my music like straight up off iTunes and everything. Did you, in that shift, how was it for you personally, the shifting in the industry for you?
It didn't really bother me because I wasn't making no money for real like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I came in, I grinded it out, then I caught the hit and had the little run with Berg and all that stuff. You know, then I had, ironically, stemming back to my experience in Tuskegee and just meeting people in the world, because I was cool with people in Tuskegee and I always try to maintain relationships and friendships. Never forget, my boy Ali, right, calls me randomly. I'm back up here, and you know, my bad, Ali. You know, I one thing I'm gonna tell the truth right now is that I did know, I knew.
Oh, you
And
knew.
I knew, and I'll tell you the story.
All right.
Tell you the story. Well, it's a 2-part story too, because
Okay.
it goes back to don't be an asshole,
Right.
and maintain your relationships.
I got
So
you.
the first story is when I had so with Ali, he calls me one day randomly. I had dropped out to Tuskegee a couple years. I had caught the little wave with Berg. You know, he kept up seeing things I was doing like on MySpace and then Facebook.
Right.
All that good stuff. And then he calls me and goes, "Yo, Billy, yo, my cousin, bro, he's a super talented producer. You need to get with him. He's in New York. You know what I'm saying? They got some things going on. I really think you can help out. You know what I'm saying?" And me, I'm like, not this call again. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, not.
At this time, you're getting a lot of calls, a lot of people asking for help, favors.
Like once you catch any lick of success, you get bombarded. Everybody thinks you have the answers and the keys, and you could just change their life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not the case at all. So what ended up happening, he calls me. So he was like, "Yeah, they got a little song going on. You know, people like it, and he really needs a good manager to help take this thing to the next level." So I'm like, all right. So I was like, what do they got going on? He was like, they got a song called Day and Night. You know what I'm saying? Now, in my head, I was like, what you mean? Like, day and night?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, that's that joint. Now, mind you, I love the damn song.
Oh, man,
I knew what the
Billy.
song, I knew what the song was. I'm like, so in my head, I'm like, nigga, you got to be kidding me. You telling me your cousin produced the record that's like the new hottest record that's coming out? And this was still early. This was pre-Jim Jones Day and Night remix. This
Okay,
was all
because that took it to a whole nother level.
This was when the Crookers remix was blowing up overseas, the up-tempo one. And the regular version was just buzzing over here.
Okay.
But I had caught it early just on some online shit, and I'm like, yo, I love this shit. So when he said that, I'm like, bro, I'm like, yo, you know what? I played it wild cool. I was like, when I got you, just connect us. I'll go link up with him. In my head, I'm like, nigga, let's go. Like, I know what I'm about to.
I'm running this shit.
I'm about to turn this shit up. This thing is talented as fuck. I love this song.
Right.
So this nigga, him and Cudi, they all the way out. Dr. Genius is all the way out. The last stop on the 3 train all the way in Brooklyn, New Lots in East New York.
Man.
You
Cudi,
know what
I'm a
saying?
major Cudi fan forever, man.
So I'm telling you, I all that early Dot stuff. I did his publishing deals, his ASCAP deals, a bunch of stuff. I did all that stuff for him and helped set up some meetings for when they were doing the Cudi deal. I helped set up some meetings over at Jive with my boy Ian Rich and Barry Weiss. It was like, it was a thing. Like there was like a bidding war for Cudi and everything like that. And Dot too, and he, they were killing it, and it was just mad. It was just mad funny when he called. So shout out to Tuskegee and maintaining your relationships.
Yes, I think the underlying theme of this whole podcast so far has been maintain your relationships. Do not burn your bridges, man.
But so there's another funny story where now I had a little success and I was feeling myself, and my wife's good cousin, my wife's friend, right, who I just was like, oh my god, she's such a bird. Like, well, she's a nice girl, but she just would say bird things, you know? What I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you just like, oh my god. So I'll never forget, yo. I'll never forget. Like, and this is early. This is early again. So one time, and shout out to ASAP Rocky, because at the end of the day, like, I'm an ASAP Rocky fan. I fucks with ASAP, shit like that. It was just a funny ass story. So my wife's friend is his cousin.
Oh wow.
So I'm talking about this before the purple.
This is before he drops the purple joint, because they blew up and got like 1.3 mil off the rip.
So this is before Purple Drink and all that stuff came out. This was like right before that. This may have been like,
because that's the wave.
Tell me, this was like maybe like 2-3 months before all that happened.
Because you got at that time, right? Prior to that time, you had a whole lot of rappers was coming out. You had Cole, you had Wiz, you had Drake, you had Kendrick, you had Schoolboy Q. All of them were coming out around the same time. That's a really creative, crazy ass time at that point, yo.
Yeah, so it's a funny story. So we leave in City Island. It's me, her, my boy Keon. Shout out to Keon. So she's like, yo, my cousin rapping, he nice. I'm like, yo, shit, we was drunk. I'm like, shut up. Yo.
Oh, Billy,
I was so disrespectful. I threw the mixtape out the window.
You were so sick. Oh my god.
Because it was her, I threw the tape out the window. Like I didn't even look at the name, nothing. Just straight on some disrespectful, drunk, ignorant shit.
Oh man.
Fling the shit out the window. Boom. On the ruckler. Oh yo.
She was not happy about that, brother.
No way. We was all laughing like it was just one of those disrespectful, funny, dumb things. Because, I don't think even in her head she knew that what was about to happen was about to happen. Right. So it was a big joke thing, and it was
who could see that happening though? No one can see that happening.
Let me tell you, 3 months later, I'm seeing all the shit going on, this, that, and third. I'm playing the video on my laptop. This, that, my girl.
You on YouTube playing the video?
Yeah. She's like, yo, you want to hear something funny? I'm like, what? She's like, that's Adalia's cousin. I'm like, nah.
This shit ain't happening.
I was like, no, it's not. Don't you come in here with those lies, Ricky Bobby. Like, no, it is not. You know what I'm saying? So she starts texting. So, she puts her on the phone. She's like, I told you, and now he's you want to be there? I said, all right, you got it. You won, man.
I'm just gonna hang up right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off the phone right now. You got it. You won. Right.
Like, I don't want to even go outside. Somebody call me.
Yeah,
call me.
I feel like a complete asshole. But it happens. It happens to the best of us and shit like that. You know what I mean? That's a funny story. So, just maintain your relationships and don't be an asshole. You know what I mean?
Super facts. In the business, you never know who you're going to meet and what person can turn into who and what can happen.
Oh, my God.
You never know. Because I ran off all those other rappers. We entered that Drake stage of hip-hop where he came in and hip-hop kind of shifted. But I know he couldn't have been there without Kanye, without Cudi, and some other artists before him. Kind of open up that door. In the business, who you got? Who was like kind of like the new people that everybody was hot on? I know everybody was hot on Drake at that point, but who were you hearing a lot of noise about? And you were like, "Whoa, this person really came up." And I was like, "Oh shit!"
During which time? During the time when
we're talking like 2010, 2012.
What was I on at that time?
Because that was like, for me, that was when hip-hop kind of took a shift. We know we were talking about just spanning the time frame, but that was like hip-hop took a real shift at that point.
I'm trying to see. That wasn't during, did I have Joe during that time? Who did I have during that time? I can't remember. I did that later. During that time, what was that? I think I was more so into... Like, the thing with me is, like, I consume music and I listen to it, but I'm always really focused on what I'm working on at the moment. So if I'm working with an artist, I'm like tunnel vision. Like, I'm like, I got to break this artist. You know what I mean? Like, I can't be concerned with what they got going over there. Like, yo, your song, I love it. Shit is dope. But I got to do this over here. But I'm going to get back. We going to pull up. We're going to have a good time in the club. But I got to focus on this right here. So I couldn't. Everybody who was catching their waves was catching their waves. Like, I was consuming it all, but I was just so focus on what we were doing. You know what I'm saying?
Because I remember, because at that time I was like getting into the business myself, and I was working with artists, and I started to learn like it's a lot different from when you're looking on the outside to when you get into it and you're doing artist development and you're trying to move. There's so many people pulling these people in so many directions if they get hot at the moment that you gotta like navigate that. Did you ever have that moment where you were just like trying to get through to an artist and they just wasn't listening, and you were just like, "Yo, I can't do this." Like, you don't listen to what I'm saying.
Mad artists. No, I don't think any artists listen. I
Mm.
don't think there's such a thing. I don't think that exists. Like any of the good, especially the good ones.
Right. The good ones are just off on their own.
Yo, listen, the better they are, the crazier they are.
I never even thought about it like that. That's true.
In their own way. Not
Right.
all of them. Like, of course, there's always an exception or two that you're like, oh, this person's amazing. They're super talented. But I think all super creatives have something a little off. You know what I'm saying? Something a little different. It's like, you know what I
I
mean?
totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Because the few people that I've come in contact with that are super creative and I've seen it in their process, they ain't all there, Bree. It's not all clearly there. It's like a little bit of something's not all the way going to the top of the building. Did you find yourself around I guess like getting through life and going through the industry and stuff? Did you ever find yourself in a place where you were just like, I'm about to walk out this bitch and not come back? Like, I'm done with this shit.
Hell no.
Good.
No. It's not even, like, not even one time.
That's dope, yo.
Like I would be down and mad about dumb shit or dumb choices I've made or decisions I made, but I never wanted to stop doing it. Like I ain't win the Super Bowl yet.
Competitive to the end. I would dig that, bro.
Yeah, like I didn't win yet. Like I beyond money for me, it's like, yo, I got to make a dent. Like people got to remember me. You know what I'm saying? Like.
So you're more on a legacy hunt than you are on the cash hunt, really.
Yeah, because the cash comes.
Yeah.
If you're putting the work in and doing it correctly and really going hard, the money comes.
The money will always come if you work hard enough for it.
Yeah, the money comes. Even when it's something that you work hard on for and it may not transpire into the biggest thing in the world, but the money will come. The money comes. If you're just out there trying to get a check, you're never going to get that organic, authentic, like magic that happens when you put your all into something. It doesn't happen that way.
I'm so glad you said that because I think a lot of people will have that misconception.
Yeah, people out here being rappers because they're trying to catch a check, not because they truly love music or have this long, profound story to tell or really can articulate the feelings of a culture or society or even just take a sound to another level or have a voice that cuts through, that garners attention. Like, a lot of people just do it because they trying to get to the bread, or you know what I mean. It wasn't something that they were always doing. Like, you know how many people we went to high school with that started being an artist at like 26, like 27. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I get it. You want to follow your dream, this and third, but it'd be like, was this really a dream? Or did you just sing and somebody just was like, yo, you should be an artist? You know what I'm saying? Or like,
right.
yo, if this nigga could make it, I could for sure make it. You know, nah, fam, you don't know what that man went through or what his story was and this, that, and the third.
Did you ever catch a lot of flack from people saying like, oh, you had it easy, or you just got there, you don't know? Like, we're talking about from people we grew up with, people that your homies, your friends, people that were around you.
Because they all knew. Not one person in my family was in entertainment. Like, I didn't have, I still don't. Like, nobody can say anything to me because nobody in my family is in entertainment. I didn't come up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I didn't, none of that stuff was there. So there's no elements of that. Everybody knows Billy's just
hustle hard.
Yeah, he's everywhere. You don't know. Like, when I was young, you might see me here, there, this, that. You're like, my nigga, you're not even old enough to be in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'll slide and end up at somebody's VIP table. They passing me drinks. They turn back around like, who is this nigga? Like, I don't even know him. And he over there. I'm right next to you in the picture. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gone. Like, listen, I'm here. But they're like, you know what? That's kind of like even how it happened to me, because a lot of, when I was coming up, I was throwing parties and being a sub promoter, and I would be so much in the mix that some of the executives and artists and DJs, they would see me at the label as an intern and see me in a nightclub next time, and then it became a thing of, oh, that's the little man, that's young boy, he cool, he good, like, you know what I'm saying? And I was always by myself. You know, travel light, travel far. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Wow, that's a great line, Bill.
I wasn't
dope.
I wasn't coming in the club
Yeah.
wow deep with wow people from back home or even my cousins from I wasn't doing anything. I'm coming in solo.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what? He good. Like I seen him around the stand third. He's straight. He's the sub promoter. He good. Like he could rock out. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of working with DJs, did you have to like really build a lot of relationships with DJs to get your artists moving?
Honestly,
And
not
to
really.
this day, and I'm sorry. And speaking to, could you speak to, is that still relevant today?
I think radio doesn't mean as much as it did. Hold on.
Go ahead.
I think that DJs don't. The radio doesn't dictate, popularity anymore. So you don't necessarily have to do that because people can discover music so many different ways from, your streaming platforms,
Right.
YouTube, social media, so on and so forth. So they don't have as much power as they did before when like radio was where you heard the new shit or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I
Stuff
remember
like
back
that.
in the
The same
day, I
thing
used to
with-
love hearing radio.
Same thing with labels, like or the
Yeah.
radio, like back in the day when, when I don't know if you did it, but I made mixtapes.
Oh,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? First
Hell
it started
yeah.
with making
Had the
mixtapes.
Grey
of
Maxell
yeah.
tape. That was the shit,
Exactly.
bro.
Then,
Like,
from that, I was making burnt CDs. Like
Yeah.
in high school, if anybody that like your brother may have experienced it because he played football a couple of years, but bro, if you ask anybody who like played on team with me the whole time, I used to make DJ Butter Bill mixes. I was DJ Butter Bill, and I would make mix CDs that we play in the locker room before the games, and this and that. I had mad mixes every game, every week. It was like volume 1, volume 2,
Right.
and I had the little mic on my computer back when I had the AOL dial-up that was like.
probably the only brother in the whole damn place with a mic on that shit, yo.
So it had this little random ass mic, like some little, and I would go, "It's DJ Butter Bill." Like I would do the DJ Clue echo.
Yeah.
Just doing it though. I didn't have the effect. There was no board. It was DJ Butter Bill, and that's how I would start all the tapes. And we would die laughing in the locker room because I had to have that moment to open up my tape with just me talking. You know what I'm saying?
Thought you were Clue, homie.
Yo, I don't know. I was just crazy. I just did things. I did things that were just fun. I just wanted people to have a good time and have fun.
What do you think that right now is most important for a new artist right now, as far as social media, the new media, and everything else? What do you think is like the platform that's most important to them right now?
Social media is definitely the most important platform, but I think the most important element this day and age is there's so many people. All right, so being that music's so saturated, you can discover it like mad places, whether it's like a DSP or whatever.
I saw Scooty. What's that guy? Scooter Braun.
yeah.
Yo, I saw an interview with him, and he said he found Beaver on the internet.
Yeah,
And
a lot of these people do.
yeah, I was like, wow. Okay.
So the thing with that is, I think one of the bigger elements of this day and age is personality.
I see with Cardi.
So the thing is, because so many people can make music now, and with all these programs and this, it's not back in the day like where when Michael and Quincy and them were making music. Oh no, fam, you had to sing
Right.
on tape. There wasn't tune and all these things to really like you. It had to be a star. Like you had to have talent. Now you can have a little bit less talent because you have all these programs and different things. But if you truly embody who you are and you're selling something that people
Buy
can
into.
buy into,
Yeah.
you can be successful. Now it's more about personality.
Right.
than
I think
anything.
it's a lot of like, because I look at like what's going on with Cardi and how she's been able to move like she's been moving. It's been real. Like I've seen her just like blow up, and I'm just like, how did that even happen? I remember this girl just being the most ratchet thing on Instagram, and then all of a sudden now she's the biggest selling artist.
Well, she
like,
was
out right
rightfully
now.
so. She was a star prior to.
Yeah,
And-
she was a
and-
star
and-
on
and-
Instagram for
on-
real.
On the Instagram and back in the strip club. Then she shined on TV, and it just transcended. You know what I mean? And rightfully so. To her team, the A&Rs up there at Atlantic, they made phenomenal music on her. They made a phenomenal body of work.
I watched Joe Budden's podcast, and that's my guy. Shout out to Joe Budden's podcast. Love that show. And he
I used to manage Joe.
used to manage Joe.
I co-managed Slaughterhouse. I managed Joe. I put together No Love Lost.
Oh.
One of his biggest independent albums selling to date. I managed it during that time, and Joe's fam. He's always been crazy as fuck, wild as fuck, good dude. He's always been ahead of his time in what he naturally was gifted at. Like, because he's been doing quote unquote a podcast long before podcasts exist.
Yeah, he was doing it for a long time. I remember
have
that.
People come to the house, you know, people would hit the hookahs,
Right.
do their thing. He would be playing spades or just talking shit, and he's always been one to get a bunch of people together, throw shit out there, and make people just go back and forth and say this, that, and third.
He was a bit of an antagonizer, but he liked that shit. It was good for him.
He loved it. That's
he
why
loved
me
it.
and him and stuff like that, we used to always bump heads, because it's like I'm one of those people who see the setup before the setup. You know what I'm saying? I see the setup. I like, nigga, you think you're so slick? No, bro. No, I ain't going.
But you're a Scorpio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Scorpio in you, bro. Scorpios like to sit in the cut and watch. They're not going to say much.
See, the thing is, the problem with me is, like, I like attention too. So it's like, I don't mind being in the forefront, but a lot of people, I say what I want you to know. I don't say what I say what I feel.
Right.
But there's a whole hit. Like, I kind of dictate what I really want you to know, because I'm really thinking about something else.
Like the misdirection plan.
Yeah, it's like sometimes it's right in front of your face, and
Yes.
you think you got it, but you have no idea at all.
Watch the left hand.
Yeah.
The right hand's doing all kinds of other shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and so that, you know. But man, shout out to him and all the amazing things him, Rory, Marl, the whole crew are doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what they're doing. And he was talking about how the industry's changed so much, and now you don't even need a big label. You just need to set up and go hammer.
Yeah, and that, you know, and I understood that too, and that's why me, my partners, K-Mac, Dan, we started 1801.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. So I want to also just talk about you on a personal level, because you've grown a lot personally.
Definitely.
And how you've gotten married. You have two beautiful children at this point.
Two beautiful
girls. And talk about how the transition from bachelorhood, living that life, to moving into fatherhood and being a husband and stuff, and being in this industry. How's that transition been for you?
The transition's been fine. Like, I never really listen. When you get something good, it's like, look, man, you just gotta.
You settled into it.
Yeah, you settle into it. It's like, and I think as I've gotten older, I think my approach has been different on how I want to make a dent. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you have to evolve. You have to roll with the punches. You fall on your face a few times. You learn how to put your hands down first. You just like in Batman when he was climbing out that jail. Like, you know, he kept jumping with the rope and he kept failing. All right, fam, you got to jump without the rope. You know what I mean? That's holding you down. You know what I mean? So you learn to evolve and pick and choose what works for your puzzle on your journey, what you want in your bag or who you want in your car. You know what I mean? To make the journey that much more amazing.
And that journey's been pretty amazing for you, man.
Yeah, like it's been, or trust me, it's been ups and downs. You know what I mean? I'll jump. I'm the type to jump off a building and build the parachute on the way down. You know what I mean? So I'm a risk taker.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm 0 to 100. It's either I'm real chill and quiet, or I'm turned, or it's like, yo, I'm betting it. I'm betting it all every single time. Like, if I believe in it, I'm betting it.
I got you.
Like, you don't got to worry about me. That's why I couldn't play poker. It's either I'm going to win big or I'm going to lose everything, because I don't care if I got 10 chips or 100,000 chips. So, I got this. All in. What's up, baby? You ready? Like, they be like, yo, it's the first hand, fam. I'm like, what are you doing? All in. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Go big or go home all the time.
Yeah.
Now you got involved, I know you did the Scooty Bike thing with Ray, but you were also getting involved with technical things. I know you took a trip out to a conference. I saw that, and I was like, yo, what? Like, this man is speaking on a conference board? Like, huh?
So, like,
that was amazing, by the way. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Over the years, like it started with music and A&R. I spoke on a bunch of like different panels and this and that. Just, you know, trying to help whatever information you could take from me or learn from me or get from me, because I truly believe you can learn from anybody. Run with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have it. Like, have it for free. Talk to me whenever. You know what I mean? And I think when I dove into the tech, I really immersed myself with what me and Ray were doing with the Scooty Bike and stuff like that. And we would get tons of opportunities because we were in the forefront of that whole foldable electric scooter game. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
we right after those hoverboards, we dropped the Scooty bike and we literally started the trend. Like I don't care what anybody, you see all these companies, the Birds, the this, the that. Scooty bike was the first one.
Right. Came
Period.
straight from there, and then it just branched
Period.
out from there. Yeah. I
Wasn't
agree with
nobody
you.
talking about nothing. We had it on every TV show, news channel. We had it in stores. We had it in Neiman Marcus. We was doing branding deals, custom ones for
I
every
never saw the bike concept ever come to fruition until I saw that, and I was like, "Oh, this is different. This is a little different."
And like we made a dent with it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And once that happened, you know, the conversations from music started to shift over to where music meets tech, and how is this music executive guy able to launch this tech brand and play in this space now? And then you know you see the rise of Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre with the whole Beats thing, and like,
Right.
wait a minute, is this the next kind of thing that they're on? So now
Yeah.
people want to, you know, talk to us because again, you know, Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine didn't invent the headphone.
No.
They created a brand and they developed a brand and turned it into $1 billion company. You know what I mean? And me and Ray didn't create the foldable electric scooter. No, we created a brand and we put awareness around it and introduced it to the marketplace. You know, and it was something disruptive and new, and it was dope. You know what I mean? It worked out for us, and I think that from there, like going. You know, I spoke on a web summit in Lisbon and
Yeah, that's
in
what I was-
Portugal.
that was
it was kind of
dope.
crazy because you know my wife had came with me and like people took pictures of me and I signed a couple autographs. It was like mad weird and shit.
You signing autographs,
Like the
yeah.
first because I had to speak twice. I
Yeah.
spoke on one. It was probably like 1,800 people. Like this shit was huge. Like I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? Now mind you, back of my suit jacket,
Sweat City.
Sweat City. Like yo,
That had been the most people you ever spoke in front of in your life, I get at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Yeah, that's ill.
Yeah,
I couldn't even imagine doing
I was
that.
like, I did because I didn't know. I was just like, word, y'all gonna fly me out to Portugal? I'll come talk to some people in Portugal and pay for it. Because the whole thing was, it was a free trip for me around my birthday. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, fuck it. Like I'm on the way. I didn't know, like I did the research on it, but I just didn't know how big it was gonna be. And I'm thinking, all right, you know, I'm just on this panel. A bunch of people aren't gonna show up. Nobody knows who I am.
Right,
This, that,
right,
and the third. Man, kind of found out, I'm like, oh shit.
I could have paid money to see your face at that moment.
And that's on side stage. You know, I got the earpiece in, the important shit, you know what I mean? But the first 15 seconds, and then what happens is my natural confidence kicks in because then it becomes,
Once you get past that first initial fear, everything kind of
once the first maybe like the first 30 seconds and it says hello, it says what I do, and then the people started clapping. I was like, oh,
I was staring on YouTube like, oh shit!
I'm like, also, y'all know me, y'all want to hear me talk? I was like, all right, well let's talk. So you know, and then when you're passionate about something and you really educate yourself on the topic, you can articulate so well, and you can really, you know, I'm just trying to share the story of where we were trying to go and what it was and what the vision was, and I think people really bought into it because I'm a normal person, I'm a regular person. It's like I'm not, you know, it's
You don't come off as too highbrow, bro. For people,
yeah. So it's like they were really into that, and the second time I did it, you know, I was really comfortable because I was settled in by that point, and that one went really well. It was more people, and you know, that one was the one where I took some pictures after and stuff like that, and it felt amazing. And then later on, I had spoke on Tech Connect for Black Enterprise Magazine.
Right.
You know what I mean? I did that. So like, I love doing stuff like that.
Would there ever be a book for you, man? Would you?
Oh,
ever
I
write a book?
definitely want to do a book. Not yet though, because it's still being put together. But
Right.
it's like, I have a title. It's called The World According to Billy J.
Sweet. That's sweet.
Because it's really not about.
Is it going to be like a book, like a memoir kind of book, or is it going to be more so?
It's going to be based like on my principles that I've picked up along, like not principles, but almost like principles meets lessons meets. Like I want you to take from my stories of a real interaction. I'm gonna give you two answers. You could go this way, this could happen, or you could go that way, and that could happen. Not saying that it's the end all be all, but this is what happened for me. You know what I mean? So it would be about, you know, chapter 1, maintaining the relationship. You know what I'm saying? You know, chapter 2, you know, self-actualization. You know what I mean?
I think that'd be dope, bro.
No,
I'll be
but
honest
the
with you.
stories would be so realistic and funny, like I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my Miami stories are just being so green.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, just you know, being rebellious and stuff like
I think
that.
that
It's like,
I think you got a long story that I think is definitely worth telling, my guy. Like for real. Because it's because look at the track record. Even while we talk on this podcast, you got a whole track record of stuff that is just there that just needs to be told. I think it's gonna be dope, bro, when you do it, man.
man, I got, you know, so many things, man, from, you know, being a part of, you know, me, my boy, Mike Cowboy, we put together that whole Young Money fashion capsule and drop clothes in Neiman Marcus. I sold Scooty bikes in Neiman Marcus in a partnership with MCM. I have Ovadia and Sons, which is a super dope fashion brand. Shout out to Shimon and Ariel and everything. They're killing it right now. We have a capsule coming top of the year. So it's like, I got my hands in on that. I have the label with my partners, 1801. Phenomenal artist, you know.
Speaking about 1801, you came in. So tell me about 1801.
So 1801 came together. It was me, my good friend K-Mac again, and Dan Glogard. They're two, you know, they're older than me, but they're, you know, super dope. K sold millions of records. He's produced on Missy, Beyonce, you know, Destiny Child, all that. You know what I mean? And I met K when I was 18, because he was managed by my boss, John Monopoly.
Okay.
When he had Hustle.
Damn, you guys got a long relationship, boy.
That's maintaining a relationship. And I used to shop his beats from Monop, you know what I'm saying? When Monop managed them, so I would go play his stuff for A&Rs. And I got him some checks and always maintain. And Dan, he started, you know, he's even older, super intelligent. You know, he's like the balance, and I call him the original hipster. Like, he was like one of the first hipsters ever. You know what I'm saying? You gotta love Dan. He's the OG hipster. And he, you know, has done so many things from managing 88 Keys, found Mary Ben Ari, did a bunch of, like, tons of stuff.
So you guys got a ton of experience in the industry.
Yeah. So we, between us, all of us, shit, over 50 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a super dope chemistry. We're all different ages. We're all specialized in different things, and I think we kind of came together and understanding the landscape of where music is now. You know, we made a collective that works for us. You know,
So what sparked the interest to build a label and put it together like this?
because what happened was my partner K had this space before I got involved with it, and this was where I used to record when I would do some artist projects. And one day we was in here one late night. Last year in December, and sitting there, always having a drink, and it was just me and him. And I'm like, yo, because I was doing a lot of consulting. I was doing all the tech stuff with the bikes and doing some fashion consulting stuff. And I'm like, yo, I just want to start a label again and just.
You were approaching burnout.
What happened?
Were you approaching like burnout?
No, it was just that I felt like I was doing too much without doing my base.
You started to feel like you were drifting from your base?
I started to feel like I was drifting from my base a little.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, you know, I could do all this stuff and it's fulfilling and it's dope.
Yeah.
But this is still the core of
this is at the heart of everything.
So it's like kind of like if I have this going, it makes all this other stuff.
I can relate to that a lot, man.
Just as easy.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, I'm about to start a new label, yo. I'm going to find somebody and find an investor, this, that, and third, and I'm going to start this shit back up again. And then he was like, yo, I'm down.
Sweet.
And I was like, you want to do something? He was like, yeah. And then we had called Dan because him and Dan was already partners and they had artists together and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, I fucks with Dan. Let's go. And we put it together. Yeah, did a joint venture deal with Sony, and we closed that in like May. So it was like 4 months into the year. Didn't even take any private money. Did a deal there. Then we just most recently did the deal for one of our artists that was signed to us, Coyle Ray, over at Universal Republic.
Shout out to her, man. This girl's about to blow y'all. Y'all have no clue, man. Wait till y'all see, man.
So it's like, you know, we've got a bunch of really dope artists, producers. Like we did records on the new YBN tape, like Two Tone Drip. New Drip with Gucci Mane and them on that YBN mixtape, and we've got like, so it's like we're just doing what we all love doing, just from the side, from the back. Like I'm I'm not really not pressed to like we all married with kids and stuff. Nobody's pressed. We just pressed to do a good job.
Sweet.
You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think the nucleus of us all wanting to attain the same things and having a passion for real artists with real talent and their visions and their goals being tangible and amplifying them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what really we try to focus on. You know what I'm saying? Like we got 5 artists over here, none of them sound the same. And they, you know, producers work together, all types of stuff, and it's just a vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's just a dope vibe.
Yeah, you really look like a man who's at peace and like finding his like it's like completely okay. Like you're comfortable in your skin, bro.
No,
It's like I can see that now. You know what I mean? Like I haven't been around you in a long time, so to see this now is like really, really dope, yo. It's really, really dope.
hey, you grow. People grow, man.
Yeah, man.
People grow, and life will teach you things. Life will humble you. Life
I'll
will,
humble you to no
Yo.
end, yo. That's when you think you're the shit.
yo,
Sit down.
What? Tell me about it.
Sit your ass down
You know what I'm
and,
saying?
and pay attention. You know.
And then you know, for me too, also it's like I see. Like I like to look at the whole social landscape. I like to look at the game. I like to look at everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a quarterback. Like I study other teams. I study other players. In the
Right,
game.
right,
I
right.
see what people are doing. I see the
Mhm.
messaging and how this is turning out. And I like to set up my own plan and plays because I'm
Mhm.
always like doing something a little slightly different. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. You
Like,
calling the audibles?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a dope ass play. But if I found a little void that I could fill there
Yeah.
to take your shit to the next level. And I love that. I think a lot of people this day and age love to get on social media and point out a problem, but ain't nobody jumping on social media and giving people the solution.
No, why would I give you the solution if you don't want to pay attention to me anymore? You, got to
know
keep
what I'm
giving
saying?
little fees. So.
So it's like it's weird, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I just try to not focus on the problem. Like even when people do shit wrong, it's like, all right, I gotta figure that I can't waste time talking about the problem. I gotta figure out the solution.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying?
So, Bill, man, this has been a great interview. I found this podcast has been dope because I've found out so much information about you, man, and I really appreciate you coming on the show, man. Real shit.
Nah, man.
And it's great that I've seen your evolution, my guy, and you got so much more to go. You haven't even
you've
reached the
known
ceiling.
me since I was like in 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah, so I've known you for a long time, but to see the person and the man that you become, it's very good to see that, bro.
And I appreciate that. And I think what you're doing is amazing as well. I think that you creating a platform for people, even locally, but it'll grow.
Yeah.
Of course, it'll grow. But you just creating a platform and just giving people the opportunity to speak sometimes and tell a story. You don't know how this is going to influence the next person or how it helped or just information in general. You know what I mean?
Hence why we do it, man. I just want to be able to tell people's story because nobody can tell your story but you, like you can. So why not give you the platform to do it? And I love podcasting, love photography. This is my thing. So I gotta do my thing, or I don't want to. I just personally, for me, I don't want to end up 60 years old still talking about what I should have done or what I could have did.
Facts.
I don't think anybody actually does, but for me, I seen it growing up, and I don't want to be the guy sitting at the dinner table with a beer in his hand talking about what I could have done.
Listen,
So I'm not gonna be that guy.
you're never gonna hit me with the 50 Cent line. You know what I'm saying? Like the damn homie. In high school you was the man, homie. What the fuck happened to you? Like, nah. No
So,
way.
ain't no way. Not gonna happen, right?
Not going way. I'm not.
I'm glad that you hear me here, bro. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that shit says a lot in itself. That for people who just, will step out to chase their dream. Whether it's people you've had on the podcast like Brandy doing the book,
Yeah.
or people that like Eric who's really chasing his music, and just the people that I know growing up who are
Right.
just jumping out there, like doing their thing. I think it's awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there was 2 people. A lot of people don't even know this. It's a crazy story, and this goes back to T-Neck.
Yeah, okay. Back to the
Do you remember Josh Levine and Ari Levine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Josh and Ari, Josh graduated T-Neck High School. Ari dropped out, got his GED. They were like the first ones that were like really into music. He was an engineer, this, that, and the third. They dropped out, moved to LA, like didn't go to college, just went to LA, and they were living together, and they opened up a little studio. When I first started managing Berg and got out there, those were the only two people I really knew out there. Mind you, I had class with Josh, like Josh and them was my homies. You know what I'm saying? And Ari was in my grade. Ari was our engineer. Young Berg was like, he mixed and recorded his whole first album. He traveled with us, did the whole thing. Kid from TX High School, and his brother was his manager, and they ran a studio. And then later on, you know, Ari became part of the Schmeezingtons. He, you know, and Josh co-managed Bruno Mars and Ari and that whole thing, and they made millions and millions of dollars. And we all started out together, just, you know,
Just being around.
just being around. You know what I'm saying? Two white Jewish boys from Teaneck, me being a football player and being cool, and we just all knew each other, and then that's just maintaining relationships. It's like I go to my homies, we figure it out.
It's amazing how much that connection is. Teaneck High School, I don't care where you're from. If you don't really understand, you might not never understand it, but it's a long connection. It's so many different people from so many walks of life. And in some places, we got that benefit because if you grew up in another place and never had interactions with people from that culture, you would have never known these kids.
Absolutely.
And you've been like, I don't know nobody.
And that was also a thing with like when I went to the HBCU too. It's like I get it and I love the concept, but I don't feel like I don't want to point the blame on like the field is what it is. Like everything's systematic. It's fucked up. Period. Government's fucked up. U.S. fucked up.
Yeah, it's a fucked up situation.
I can't learn enough based off one race when there's all these other cultures here.
Yeah.
Like you're never gonna go to one company that's all black people. You're never gonna go to one this that's all this. Like you have to, and if you do go to that company, if you didn't interact with that culture or those people, how are you ever gonna infiltrate it?
Exactly.
How are you ever gonna be able to assimilate and close a deal?
Right. I always tell people you're the biggest advantage you'll ever have in life is getting to know somebody who didn't come from where you came from.
Absolutely.
And you will learn, if you can learn from that person and then take that and use that and flip that to know somebody else and keep learning, that's the whole point. But we are finished at this point, everybody.
Yeah, so I just want to say shout out to Brian. A lot of people
Billy.
don't know Brian. Red.
Yes.
Johnson, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, quick question though, man. Tell the people where they can find you, how they get in contact with you, man.